Okay, so one of the things I wanted to set once this was all back together is the timing. First, what you'll need, a couple things. You need to try to make one of these little pointers. Not essential, but it'll probably make your life a little easier. This is just a bent piece of coat hanger. You'll need a magnet. I think I got this from ScooterHelp. You can just download it, and then I just glued it to a piece of cardboard. Oh, and the other thing you'll need is something to help you hit top dead center. And there are a few different ways as tools you can buy, of course, for top dead center tools. I think a pretty decent top dead center tool is just a little stubby screwdriver. It's got right around the right amount of distance here, and it fits in the spark plug socket hole, and then we'll turn this until it hits, and then you'll see. See if I can adjust things so that you can see this a little better. Okay, so next thing we need to do here is just remove this. Nope, well, there we go. All right, so I grabbed my other tripod, and hopefully this will give you a better view of what we're trying to do here. These are the points, and you will see that they can open and close. There's 2 screws used in the adjustment of these. This bigger screw is the lock screw. So if you unscrew this, it will loosen the adjustment mechanism so that you can adjust it with this tiny screw up here. This one actually adjusts the points. This one just secures the little plate that moves back and forth. Loosen this big screw just a little, and then I need a smaller screwdriver, obviously. There's the woodruff key right here on this shaft. You don't want to lose that. It's gonna line it up right to top, right to 12 o'clock. And it helps me if you tilt the woodruff key down a little and slide this right on here. In the spark plug holder, I've got my stubby screwdriver in here to stop the piston from rotating. And I've got our setup here. What we do is we take the degree disc, turn this until it hits your reference point. So I can turn clockwise, and I can feel it's now hitting my screwdriver. That is one reference point to stop. And so I just put the timing disc here at 0 degrees against our little reference piece of coat hanger. Why do we do that? Because what we're gonna do is turn this the other way until it stops counterclockwise. So we're gonna have a stopping point here somewhere when the piston stops. We're gonna go counterclockwise, and the piston's gonna stop around here somewhere. That's gonna give us a number. And obviously, the distance between these 2 points is where the piston can't travel, and half the distance of that will be top dead center. While I'm messing with this, I want to see if I get the same measurement twice. So I'm just going to put a little piece of blue tape on here. Turn this clockwise until it hits. Okay. That's going to be our reference point of 0 degrees. All right, make sure that's nice, centered, and nice. Okay, and we are at a fixed point here. Now we're gonna go counterclockwise. 180. And 230 is what I was getting before. 230 from 360 would be 130 degrees. And what do I mean by 130 degrees? I mean, from here to here, where the piston cannot continue to move, there's about 130 degrees in here. Half of 130 would be 65. All right, so I'm gonna come back this way, back to our 0 point. And I'm gonna advance get the screwdriver out and advance 60 degrees. And then we want to come backwards 19. So that should put us, yeah, like right back to that blue spot. Would you look at that? Okay, so this is where my points should be opening. I ran this around a few different times, and I was getting a pretty consistent calculation of 130 degrees in between these. I'm gonna loosen that big screw and then adjust that upper tiny screw here. It's also important to note the space, the gap itself, and there's a range there. I'm going to use 0.35 millimeter with my feeler gauge. I find that when you tighten this like retaining larger screw, it sometimes closes the gap a little. If I do lose a tiny bit when I close that retaining screw, it should still be within the window. 0.2 to 0.4, I'm really trying to get it like right in the dead center there. Okay, so I've opened up that gap. Now I want to measure what that gap is before I lock it all in.